Okay, test number 2. Just wanted to go over my fish here. So I've got the IMU at the front. I did have another one here, but I couldn't solder them, so I had another one and used these adapters. So I've got the IMU at the front and the Arduino, and I've connected everything to my laptop. I have it running there. So I've positioned the fish at 0 degrees as far as reference goes. I have a line down here on the base, and I basically line it up parallel to that line. Not too worried about the tail at this moment, just worried about concentrating on the fish. So that is lined up, and all I'm going to do is move the base around the whole lot basically until I can get it to 0. So I'm just moving that around. Fish is pretty much 0, and I've just started getting some negative figures, negatives and positives. Oops, that's probably a bit too much. Oh, no, that's about right. So I'm just going to pause that scroll to see how those figures are going. Pretty close to 0. So I've just moved that base around to get the whole fish. It's still parallel to that, so that's set at 0. So that's pretty good, yeah. And then I'm just going to start up again, and I'm going to move the fish as close as I can get to 90 degrees that way. And how I establish that is this base here is the front of that base is 90 degrees to that line going through there. So it's very much a visual to see whether it's parallel. So that's parallel there, and I've got about 120, so the degrees are working. So it's parallel is registering about, that's still parallel, very hard to keep it. Yeah, so 90 degrees to the left, or negative 90 is registering about 125, and it's kind of drifting a little bit, but that's about as close as I can get it. This is about the 10th version, just trying to scale it, the accelerometer and the gyroscope. So now I'm going to move it all the way around the other way, 90 degrees to the right, so it should be a positive 90. And I'm just going to line up that again parallel. This one's easy to keep parallel because I don't have the... So that is registering 144. So I'm just going to move it back to roughly 0, as 0 as I can get it as far as parallel goes with that line down there. And we're sitting around about, stop it for a second. Yeah, it's kind of drifting a bit, but it's about 20 degrees. So it is moving. I do have the mouse on there, so that might be moving it a bit. But it is registering the degrees. So on 0, it's registering as close to 0 as I go around to here. I'll just start it up again. I'm just moving this fish around, and it is working. As I move this around 90 degrees the other way, it's going into the positives. That's pretty parallel. Just for a little bit, let it settle down. So it's registering the degrees, or the change in degrees, as I change the fish angle, but it's not accurate. But that's test number 2.